us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We hope you all in a good condition. So in this video, there is group 1 that consists of me, Monica M. Damanik, Baitutra Kristanto, and the last is Abigail Samita Sitaka. Here we are going to explain you about all the basic things of tax, and we hope this video will be very useful for you, and all the information you need can you get from this video. We started from the history of tax. Talking about history, it means that we have to go back to our past. So just follow me, we are going to do a time travel. Long time ago, before we even do not know that this country will be named Indonesia, taxes have already existed. So in that time, Indonesia still consists of several kingdoms that spread across various regions. Each year, the people were obligated to give part of their substance to the king, that called upeti. So, wise king will return this tribute to his people by building public facilities for his people and ensuring the safety of their lives. This kind of research continued until the Dutch colonial era. Then we talk about taxes in the POC era. During the reign of government Daendels, there was also tax collection, namely collecting taxes from the gate, both people and goods, and tax on the sale of goods in the market, including tax collection on houses. Then move to another era, it is era of British occupation. At the time, Raffles made a new system for collecting the tax. It is called land rent stelsel. Land rent stelsel is a taxes on the rents of community land to the colonial government. So next we talk about taxes in the era of independence. At that time, the government implemented an official assessment system. And then in 1983, the government launched a tax revolution, marked by a change in the tax collection system from official assessment to self-assessment. Then starting in the 1984, the value-added taxes was introduced at that era too. So after talking about the history of tax, now we have to know about the definition of tax. So tax is like when we join a club. Actually, all the clubs have obligated the member to pay some fee. That fee will be used in all activity in that group. It's also same as Indonesia. We just assume that Indonesia is a big club, which is we have to pay a tax. So it is the definition of tax. If it's not clear enough for you, just read it here. It is the definition of tax that more details because it's
Functions of tax. Now, I have to say this up forward. If you happen to type on Google about the function of tax, you will find an array and a lot of lists of websites that tells you the functions of tax. But unfortunately, most of the information that you got in the internet wasn't really that applicable in our condition in Indonesia, and therefore I need to put another specification into the title into functions of tax in Indonesia. Now I got all the informations from pajak.go.id. It is basically the website that our authorities, Directorate Jenderal Pajak, made to inform the people of Indonesia. Based on the website, there are 4 types of functions in Indonesia. The first one is budgetair, and the second was are regular rent, stability, and redistribution. Let's talk about the first one, budgetair. From the name itself, as an accountant, you must already got the image of budget, and budget was used for funding purpose. Now in tax, budgetary purpose is to fund a lot of costs that the countries need to pay, such as state worker salary, either it's a police, military, state workers, the people that you see wearing brown uniforms all the time, and that is to pay their salary. The second one is to develop and to research their service into a better purpose, to keep up with the time. And the third one is to build infrastructures all around in Indonesia, and of course, for the national budget itself. The second one are regular rent. Regular rent comes from the word regulate, and it is basically to regulate economic growth, or simply, if I can say it to another word, to achieve economical goals, such as to protect national goods by putting a high import tax so that another goods that's coming from another countries will resist more because they need to pay more for selling their goods in Indonesia, and to increase export by lowering export taxes. The third one is to stabilize national economy, or the stability function. It's like to control the rate of inflation, to control the number of workforce in Indonesia by adjusting their taxes into certain conditions. It's basically macroeconomy. I won't dive deep into that. And the fourth one and the last is redistribution. It came from the word distribute, and it's basically to distribute national resources equally. It's like when when the taxes in Jakarta is having a surplus, those tax surplus will be distributed into another place where the amount of tax is not as many as in Jakarta. Or instance, when a certain region are having a deficit in tax, another region will support that deficit so that the amount of tax will be balanced in each region. And that is the function of tax in Indonesia. And then we jump into the tax collection system. No matter how much the tax that you owe, you need a good collection system for that. In Indonesia, there is 3 systems to collect taxes. The first one is to self-assess yourself, or doing by official statement, official assessment, or by withholding system. The first one is self-assessment system, or like I said before, it is self-assess. Taxpayers determine their own money that they owe of the tax into the tax authorities. Now the payroll here is to calculate paying and reporting the amount of tax they owe into the authorities of the taxes, while the government role is simply just to supervise the amount of tax and supervise the activities for the payroll to pay the taxes. Now for the example is the VAT, the value added tax, or in Indonesia, pajak penambahan nilai, and also for the income tax or pajak pendapatan. The second one is official assessment system. It is basically the reverse of the self-assess, and the payroll here is simply just paid the amount of tax that they owe into the government that is previously determined by the government itself. So basically the payroll or the society role is simply just paid what the government said. So the example are the local tax such as land and building tax, and also vehicle tax that people usually need to pay at a certain year. The third is withholding system, which is quite different from the self-assess and official statement, because with the withholding system, people are using a third-party officials to calculate and to control their taxes. So it's like having someone else to deal with your tax. Some of the example are public tax service, something like BKPs. In Indonesia, it's like konsultan pajak, and also some people that have a CTAs with degree in the back of the names. They're basically some tax officials that learn a lot of things about tax, and they can be trusted to control your tax. And that is about the tax collection system.
Hello everyone, my name is Abigail Elsa Samita Istakat, and I'm here to explain you about types of taxes. So, according to Walio, there are various types of taxes that can be grouped into 3 groups. So they are taxes according to class or impositions, taxes according to nature, and according to collectors and managers. According to class or impositions, taxes can be divided into 2 groups. There are direct tax and indirect tax. Direct tax is a tax that cannot be delegated to other parties but must be borne by the taxpayer concerned. For example, income tax. While the indirect tax is a tax that can be delegated to other parties, for example, value-added tax. The second group is taxes according to nature. The distribution of taxes according to nature means that the differentiation and distributions are based on the characteristic of principle like subjective tax or objective tax. Subjective tax is a tax based on subject whose objective requirements are sought, in the sense of taking into account the condition of the taxpayer concerned. While the objective tax is a tax based on the object regardless the condition of the taxpayer. The example for subjective tax is income tax. An example for objective tax is value-added tax and sales tax on luxury goods. The last group is taxes according to collectors and managers. They are divided by two groups also. There are central tax and local tax. Central tax is a tax that collected by the central government and used to finance state households. For example, income tax, value-added tax, sales tax on luxury goods, stamp duty, and land and building tax, and etc. While the local tax is tax collected by local government used to finance regional households. For example, advertising tax, entertainment tax, fees for acquisition, for land and building rights or BPTHB, and etc. Okay, I think that's all I can say today. Thank you for watching this video and see you.